Hey, and good afternoon. I'm really excited. We've got a special guest here, Star Hansen, and she's a professional organizer. She's an author. She's been on all kinds of TV shows. She's been on podcasts all over the country, and she's here to share with us some really interesting secrets about ways that we can become healthier by organizing our stuff. Hello and welcome, Star.
Oh, it's so good to be here with you, Angela. Thanks for having me.
You can't be an organizer without yourself having some of your personal aptitudes in place, if you will, meaning
Yeah.
you have to have your life in order for it to then manifest itself in your work. What are some of the steps that you had to take in order to get your own life organized so that you could then be of service to others?
It was about maybe 7 years into my career, and when I started my career, technology wasn't what it is today. You had like physical paperwork to manage, and I was always great with that. But this whole world of technology, email, marketing, all of that just continued to grow like this beast in the corner. It was like 7 years in, I was missing deadlines. I was not responding to emails because this giant industry had basically grown while I was growing my company, my baby. And I remember just beating myself up so badly because I'm an organizer. I'm supposed to have it all together. I shouldn't miss anything. I shouldn't have these issues. And finally, I had to sit down and really say, okay, great. You've got to teach yourself how to do this. And I did. And this is a very similar thing that I see with a lot of clients and people that I work with, that these moments of chaos are not just going to sort themselves out. We have to teach ourselves how to manage them. For most of us, we didn't experience this growing up. Like consumerism has really accelerated in the last, 20 years. So
Mm.
even if your parents have clutter now, they didn't 40 years ago, or it's just the world has become more complicated because of our access. And it's very normal to require a little tune up, a little education, and a restructuring that needs to happen for these things that we are all just trying to keep up with that are constantly evolving.
Well, and you just said so many things there that I want to unpack them one by one if I can go back.
Yes.
You mentioned a couple moments ago about chaotic moments in our lives. And I think a lot of people may have their lives somewhat organized, but there are all these chaotic moments that we haven't actually labeled.
Yeah.
And because we're not consciously aware that we're in the middle of a chaotic moment, that sometimes it happens and then it kind of blossoms and gets out of control. And that's where the overwhelm and the frustration and then the paralyzation hits us, where then we just feel like we're stuck all of a sudden because we have gone through these chaotic moments, but we haven't identified them and we don't have resources to resolve them. And so
Correct. But we've also self identified as the clutter. Most people will say, I'm a mess. I'm disorganized. I'm a hoarder. I don't like to say that. That's not a thing I say. But this is what people will say about themselves. I'm a clutter bug. No, you're not. You experience something in your life, either the way that you view the world and you haven't quite found the system that works for you, or something has occurred, this chaotic chapter. Maybe it's the death of someone you love and you feel a lot of grief and are having a hard time functioning, or maybe you've inherited stuff, or maybe you've gotten married, or you have kids, or you're an empty nester, or you're retiring, or you're downsizing. There are so many chaotic chapters of life. The pandemic, there are so many things that can happen that can create an instability in us. And where it really goes off the rails is when we decide that we are the problem. And you are not the problem. This is something that all humans are dealing with. Even if you are a minimalist, do you know how hard you have to work to be a minimalist? The amount of times you have to say no and refuse things, gifts, items from stores, replacements, like whatever it is, mail. You're saying no constantly. It is a full time job to stay a minimalist if that's what you decide to be. And so we are living in this construct of chaos. And what the first thing we can do is just stop identifying yourself as a mess, as the problem. You're not the problem. We are trying to make sense of a very chaotic world.
so if that's true, and I believe that it is, what do you recommend we use as an identifier to find ourselves in that situation?
What a great question. So, if you are going to start identifying yourself in a different way other than being a mess, I would say don't even start identifying. Get curious. Most of us growing up didn't have a lot of space for us. And we didn't have a lot, we were so busy just trying to stay alive or function in a family that either we fit in or we didn't fit in, or we go into the world. And so the first thing is just get curious. Get curious about yourself. Who are you? What do you like? What do you want to be and do? Even after all the work that I've done on myself, if someone asks me what I want, I have to stop myself, pause, calm the part of me that's frantic down, and really look at that because it's easier for me to think about your needs than it is for me to think about mine. And so the first thing we can do is always get curious. Who are you? What do you really like? Because you might be identifying not just with the clutter, but items around yourself, former chapters of your life, people in your world that may actually not fit you anymore. And that realignment is a form of decluttering. That's a release of previous versions of yourself or potential future versions of yourself that just don't fit you anymore. And that's 1000% okay.
Oh, this has been an amazing conversation. And I want to say thanks so much. But in closing, Star, will you tell our listeners where they can go to find you?
Absolutely. One of the places that I've created for you is to go to starhansen.com/podcast. And that's HANSEN. And there you can download a free copy of my book. You can take the Listen to the Monster in Your Closet quiz to find out what monster is keeping you stuck in your chaos. And that's a great place to start because on my website, I have a ton of free resources for you to dip your toe in. I'm also on all major social platforms. So come hang out with me, ask me questions, and show up. It would be great to say hi to those who've watched this and listened in.
Thank you so much for your time today. This has been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela.